Okay, so let's just go through it with the body cam. So we've got the Supermatch. So we just check the rod tip. Sorry about the wind, I'll try and shelter you. So we just check the rod tip's not tangled. We want to go around there quite a few times. Like the lead 3/4 of the way down the length of the rod. You grip the spool. Sorry about wind in the mic. You grip the spool. Magnets for this, just to show you, I'm going to put it on quite high, about 8 or 9, I want it to snap off. This tightened up. Star drag tightened up. Make sure the brakes are off, make sure it's released like that. Not tangled around the top. Right. So the rod at 12, but behind where we're going, 6 o'clock. So that's 6 o'clock. Right, we want the lead to go there, 6 o'clock. All right, so all we do, put this lead at 2 o'clock, which is over there, right, and then bring this rod round to 11 o'clock. Sorry about wind in the mic. And then the rod away from the body, okay? Rod away from the body, and my left foot wants to be pointing to where the lead's gonna go. Approximately the line of where the rod is angled at the butt, okay? And then don't try and whack it too hard. You've got natural compression between the shock leader and the tip of the rod. Okay, so just getting the action right and getting the whole procedure correct, you should get a reasonable distance without shouldn't have to apply too much power. So here we go. When you retrieve without a level wind, just use your thumb. Needs a bit of grease, this. Finger on the spool before the lead hits the water, just before the lead hits the water. So at night time, you have to estimate roughly when you think that lead's gonna count it in almost seconds. It's like 8 seconds or something like that. Use your finger, use your thumb to direct the line evenly for your next cast. When you got a fish on, when you're retrieving to rebait up. Distance casting, you do have an issue with bait flying off, like logworm, you see it go flying off. You can add a little bit of fine cotton to it, and that does help. But I keep saying, you're fishing at the right places, distance is not what it's all about. It's about just fishing and doing the basics well. Okay. So we'll do this is the sport, and I've got the Supermatch behind me, so I'll just find out what sort of distance they can do. I've got my tape measure, so I've got to be a bit careful. Just another tip. When you're repetitively casting, you tying your shock leader onto a lead, not necessarily this lead, these are actually breakaway leads, are actually quite smooth and quite good. Sometimes there can be a little spur on the actual connector here, and that can eventually, over a few casts, say 10, can actually snap off here. So you put on a clip, which is all nice and smooth, and that just avoids that. Okay. So again, just to go through it again, I'll show you. So all you do, make sure you get all the weed off your stop knot. Tapered shock leaders are okay. That's a shock leader knot. You can see that knot done online on my YouTube channel. Okay, just look up shock leader knot. But you can get tapered shock leaders where all you need to do is to connect a line between two bits of monofilament. Okay, just like this 15-pound here. And that knot is on my videos as well. So all you do, you want to go through, rig it so you can go round here maybe 6 times, something like that. Okay, and you want the lead to be 3/4 of the way down the rod. Now these rods are nearly 14 foot. Okay, and so that's the basic setup. And then you just put your thumb on it tight, pull it back a little bit, clip it in. Alright, star drag up to the max. You set your magnets to what you think you can do. Now, I'm not going to go too much into magnets today, okay, but really that's about fine adjustment to get maximum cast. Like I say, at the end of the day, it's about not keeping breaking your gear off. Alright, and distance for me, fishing, is not the be all and end all. Alright, so I'm not going to go too much into magnets right now. So all you do, position yourself 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock, right? We want that lead to go at 6 o'clock. So all you do, this lead goes to 2 o'clock, rod tip goes to 11 o'clock, right? So we know that's 12, right? And we want 11 o'clock. Okay? Now where the rod is, up here, this line, that's where I want this rod tip to be at the end of it. Right? So you angle it up like a javelin. Your feet sort of shoulder width apart. If anything, point this foot right in place where the rod's going, where the lead's going to go. Alright? Keep it up high away from your body. And you're looking just to flip it right over. You can use your lower hips to spin round your shoulders. Put some welly into it. Pressure on your gearbox on your reel. Just to make you aware, people are starting to use braid for main lines. My experience of it is, unless you're fishing at very short range in deep water, they're next to useless, because the tide and the braid and the slapping of the waves breaks the lead out of the seabed. So what you get your breakaway leads just sort of bouncing across, as where with mono it's very stretchy, and the leads they stay in the sand better. So there's no getting away from it. Mono is the daddy of lines when it comes to surf casting. Hi everybody, right, we're blessed with the 2 century rods today, and we're just going to do a comparison and see what sort of distances we can get with them. So we've got the Tip Tornado Supermatch, okay, and that's rated to 200 grams, and we've got the Sport Tip Tornado 225 grams. Now obviously that's ringed for fixed spool, and obviously this is Multiplier. Okay, so we'll see how we get on. So lead at 2 o'clock. That goes at 2 o'clock. Rod tip 11 o'clock. Okay. Bit like a javelin thrower. So the rod up high, angled up, rod tip low, wrist up high. Okay? And I'll let it pull through. Okay? I want to release it. The angle of the rod how it is now is where I want the whole thing to sort of project. I want to let my finger off the spool. If this was the hours of the clock, and that was 12 o'clock, I want to let go of this spool at about 10 or 11 o'clock, about here. Okay? That's this area. So, the fixed spool. It's an old Dan washed up, that was. Eaten away by the sea. The ingredients when doing an off-the-ground cast is obviously you want your shock leader. You need to be wrapped around here. You know, a good 5 turns, 6 turns, something like that. This has got mags on it this day with root reel, so just for today in casting, I don't want to lose my gear, snap it off, so I've just whacked on the magnets fairly high. So we're not going for distance or anything today because the wind wind's behind us and it can make the spool go really, really fast. So I'm just putting the magnets on a bit. So that's a science in itself, getting the magnets right. We're not going out of the day. Today's about just getting your fishing. Just to make you aware, you don't need distance casting to do well and catch fish. If you're fishing a deep beach, where there's going to be a lot of tide anyway, you can only do a short little cast. But if you're fishing weak tides and you're fishing sort of shallower venues, you know, distance might be your thing. Disadvantage of casting long distance, your bait can fly off, so you might want to look at sort of different techniques of, you know, wrapping a bit of cotton around your bait, this is that and the other. So there's, you know, advantages and disadvantages, but anyway, so this is the multiplier setup. So what you want to do, you want to have your lead positioned approximately 3/4 down your rod. Okay, this is, I think this is 60 pound shock leader. Okay, so you can go up to 70, 40 is a little bit light, 50 is okay, but this is a what is this? This is oh Christ, this is 200 gram lead. So this is what, 9 ounce. Exactly the same. I always like the reel, the spool tight in when I'm casting. Okay, nice and compact. You want it the lead about 3/4 of the way down. Just about there. Okay. Tighten up on the drag. Notice I'm wearing a finger stool. Play with finger stool there because the line's going to cut into my finger when I release it, okay? All I'm going to do is bring it round, grab the line with my finger and pull it into this area here. Right, I flip the bail arm over, click, and I look at the rod tip and I can see it's not tangled. Okay. Now, just realised this is often the case because I don't actually, I mainly fish multipliers, I actually got this on the wrong hand. It's clever, isn't it? So, what I'm going to do, same principle. So I grab the line, pull it in, and clip it over. Right, hands up here. Okay. Again, the lead at 2 o'clock. Rod tip at 11 o'clock. The rod, the angle of this rod is where the thing's going to go. Bone Chesterman. Just going to measure. That was a green. So that's 200 grams. Okay, 50 pound braid, and that's the Century Tip Tornado Sport fixed spool. Tape. That's 30 meters. One lot of 30 meters. Meters roughly there. There it is, that landed there. So I think that one there, I think that's roughly, that's 150, that one, because the last one I've done was 180. So you could, you know, compare where you stand your feet or the lead's behind you, you could argue and say that's about 150 meters that just cast, 200 gram bomb. So there you go. Yeah, here's the lead, just there, and the other lead was just about over there somewhere. Okay, but I think where I cast it from was slightly. Bought with a 200 gram. So what's that? 8 ounces. Am I right? 9 ounces. Hang on, I'll get my head right eventually. We got about 150 meters. So that's what, about 165 yards, something like that. 160 yards, say. There is bugger it. So what we're going to do, we'll try all leads with each rods, and we'll sort of see what we can do, because the conditions are all pretty much the same. From a fishing point of view, before we get into the distances, that don't mean anything really. From a fishing point, the Supermatch, I can tell you now, that's more of a sort of a, it's a better tip for sort of you know, your all-round sort of fishing and stuff like that. But they'll all register the bites, you know. The Tornado Spot is a little bit stiffer, and it does reflect that in the weights you can sort of, you know, you can get for it. You know, if someone said to me, you know, what one would you go and buy? My answer would be, well, I'd get both, which is why I've got both.